Hi, so this video is actually for chief execs of small housing providers in the UK. So this came on the back of a housing AI leadership and implementation exchange forum, so housingai.org, where a chief exec from a small provider was there. So she was chief exec of Thorngate Church Trust. And it made it really clear to me. So she's given her consent to be used as an example in this. It made it clear to me that you've got these thousands of small providers that don't have their own IT teams, and they're trying to make the use of technology, and they're also trying to navigate this changing technology landscape when what they're really trying to do is deliver value for customers. And they're not doing that at scale by definition of being a small provider. So I thought what would be helpful is just to show some of what I would do as a technology expert if I was chief exec of a small provider. And this is totally tech stack agnostic. So what I'm showing you here is on ChatGPT, but it could easily be on Gemini or on Copilot. Everything would be pretty much the same. They've all got similar functionality. So the first thing that I would do is I would make myself an assistant, because it's hard, there's a lot to do. So the first thing I would do is get a subscription. So I'd pay like 20 quid a month-ish for a subscription to something, probably like ChatGPT. So I've paid for that. And then I would go into the settings and I would go on data controls. And I would make sure that improving the model for everyone, i.e. sharing data outside your organization, was off, so that my data was not going outside. Okay, great. So now that we've done that, we can actually start working with a little bit more confidence. So what I would do is I would make a new GPT. This is going to be my assistant. So I would then type, or I would dictate. I'd say, hello, I am CEO of Thorngate Church Trust. I'd like a personal assistant for my housing association so that I can write policy and review all of the documentation that's been made available online and have recommended courses of action suggested for my organisation. Okay, so that's the sort of thing that I'm after. You might be after something slightly different, but this is actually the point, is that you can get it exactly how you'd like it in terms of the responses that you'll be getting back. This won't just be generic, it will be serving the function that you're trying to have. So that name sounds fine, so we'll just say yes to that. And then it might make us a profile picture, which we'll just say yes to as well. So what it's doing behind the scenes here is it's been changing some of the configuration that's going on. So yeah, that's fine. So what are the key outcomes or goals you want it to help you to achieve? I'd like it to help me review the latest regulator of social housing, Care Quality Commission and Housing Ombudsman information so that I can navigate the changing regulatory environment. I also want it to be able to help me to create financial models and to write policy documentation and occasionally reply to emails. So I've answered quite a lot of it there. We'll see how that comes out. You can have specific GPTs for specific things. If you were doing one that was very detailed on the finance side, you probably want to create one separately. You'd also want to actually know something about finance so that you could check the output properly. So I would like insights and summaries and recommended actions to be very concise, professional, and data-driven as much as possible. So this is just my personal preference for how I'm interacted with. You might prefer one that speaks in rhyming couplets or similar. You can have whatever you like. Formal tone, please. Manners are optional with these, but it's just nice. Right. So we're going to now preview some of the functionality here. So I'm concerned about off-gem regulation. What do I need to know about it? So see here it's misunderstood off-gem, so I'm just going to correct that manually. So that's an example of how expert judgment has allowed you to correct these things. So it's referencing, so it's sort of Thorngate Church Trust. Okay, so it's not quite understood here, Thorngate Church Trust, because it should be Churcher. So I've just corrected it. I've just said it's Thorngate Churcher, and now it will. Thorngate Churcher. And ensure all okay. I would like a board briefing note on the off-gem regulation. I would like a board briefing on the off-gem regulation which may impact my organisation. Okay, so it's got off-gem correct that time. So let's see how we get on. So you see it's searching the web. So it's done what we expected in the sense that it's got very up-to-date references. It's relating to off-gem. It's tried to link this in, network audits. It's suggested some actions. It's got a whole strategy piece here, board decisions, allocate resources to it. This is the kind of thing that I would expect as an output. And again, you need the expert judgment in here to know about whether this is what you're expecting or not. I am not an expert on this. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to turn on this code interpreter and data analysis. So that then will allow us to do some more sophisticated things. So I'll just show you some of that. Can you do a financial analysis? Imagine, and this isn't the case, but imagine that we were going to build a new care home for 20 people. Could you do a financial analysis with all of the relevant columns that you'd expect that I can share with my board? Can you list out any assumptions that you make around, for example, mortality or voids? So this is a complex question, and it's captured that. So we'll see how we get on this right-hand side. So it's going to provide all these things. Yep, so the location will be in Gosport near our existing stock. It's going to be a dementia care home and it will be leased. We're going to fund it hopefully using grants, but we'll need to take some loans as well. We'll need a 10-year analysis and we accept local authority payments. There's no service benchmarks because I haven't got those. Thanks. So as a chief exec, you'd have a lot more information to be able to give than I've just given it here. So it's making some assumptions here. If you're an expert in this, you will know whether these are reasonable or not. So why I wanted to show you this is because it's actually building a proper coded financial model that you could get audited in code in your browser, and it will run this for you in the browser. So in terms of like unlocking some capabilities in terms of being able to do Monte Carlo simulations, doing whatever kind of analysis that you want to do, you can do that much more easily. You can do things like uploading spreadsheets into this and get it to tell you interesting things from it that you would then manually check because you don't quite trust it, right? And that's a key point, is it will do it. This is about making sure you need to make sure you have a human in the loop. I'm not expecting you to fully understand the tooling that you're using. You don't fully understand Excel, right? You don't fully understand how email works, and yet you're using these tools. This is similar. There's potentially more risk. I'm not recommending that you use this with customers right now. That's not what I'm recommending. I'm saying make yourself an assistant. Try to make your life a bit easier. Do that for the first pass and then see where you're at. So it's made a spreadsheet for us that's got all of these things in here. So so you can see, you can kind of continue on in this sort of way. The finances don't look like they add up for this very much, which would be not that surprising. So yeah, anyway, you can sort of see how this is going to go. So hopefully then you then publish that. Anyone with the link can use that, and actually I will make this available because why not, right? The other thing that you can do, and I will do after I've finished on this call recording this, is actually make that you can upload specific documents. So you can upload things like from the regulator of social housing, you could actually upload the documents if you want those as explicit references. Similarly, with your own internal documentation, you include that explicitly and say, this is our policy around this, and that can help you when you're doing the drafting of emails. So hopefully, combined with making this available to you, I hope that is of some use, and we'll see. Just let me know in the comments or on LinkedIn or similar if this is helpful. Thanks.